Hi everyone, my name is Chrissy Gates, and this is my concept paper presentation for LIS 514, Indexing and Abstracting Surrogation. I apologize ahead of time, I don't have any fancy PowerPoints or any visual aids, but I'm simply going to talk to you about the premise or the crux of my paper, which is the controversy between computer-based, computer-generated, and human-generated indexes, or in particular search engines. While conducting my research, I came across a few different articles that focused on professional indexers, some who use the computer-based systems and some who do not. And I also came across a case with law librarians, and it was very interesting about how major corporations are now jumping on the bandwagon, and they are creating these search engines that are helpful to lawyers to find cases and whatnot. What I found in both cases is the fact that there is human interaction in all of them. For humans, they can stand on their own as far as creating indexes, obviously, but with computer-based systems, in order for them to be accurate, they definitely need to have human logic involved. Many times, if you just leave a computer to its own device, they'll just pull service materials, terms and concepts, and they won't create those relationships that a human indexer can do to make the material sustainable to the reader's knowledge. The idea is that a human is going to go in and read over the material several times in order to determine what is the most relative factor, whereas computers don't have that. They simply grasp whatever they can, in terms that they can, based on predetermined patterns or algorithms. In my research, though, I found that the general consensus was that computers aren't a bad thing. It's obviously good to have these computer search engines. Areas such as text mining or text abstracting work very well for tasks such as, or companies like a truck company's accounts receivable department, just say. And that in that sense, they're pulling information or calculations that are easily extracted. Right. One thing that I found that was very interesting with the law librarians is that they still use the basic law treaties, encyclopedias, paper. They still focus and use that as far as like tutorials for young lawyers or people who are new to the industry. The Westlaw and LexisNexis, which are these search engines created by these major corporations, are used to extract cases, law cases. And sometimes when a lawyer is going to court and they need to do their legwork for the case, they need to find similar cases. And this makes it a little bit easier. But in this particular article, what they did was they took LexisNexis and they took Westlaw, and they did a comparison running the same queries, and they found that they got a lot of different answers. And LexisNexis seems to be more of a computer-generated program, where Westlaw uses a lot of lawyers to extract or to input the information in order for into these indexes, and that's what seems to be a little bit more helpful. In this case, human interaction is definitely a necessity. Now, LexisNexis is not completely, I'm saying a bad search engine, but what they're finding is that some of these computer-based search engines that don't have the human touch lack in yielding better results. Again, the reason that I jumped on the bandwagon for this, the major corporations taking on these search engines, is the fact that I'm a school librarian, and it's very reminiscent to the textbook companies creating standardized testing. Again, I'm still in the process of finishing out my paper, and I apologize if I'm rambling a little bit. I'm tweaking here and there because I'm finding a lot of interesting things, especially related to this. But the general consensus is that human interaction is a necessity when creating these indexes or these search engines. So, again, this is my presentation. I'm Chrissy Gates, and thank you very much.